Awesome. Oh my gosh, I just got this like super slow computer lady being like, this meeting is being recorded, but like 10 times slower. Yeah, I just wanted to say welcome and thank you for being here. And I'm excited. I think as woo, everyone talking all at once is a little crazy.
Wow.
Okay.
I can hear it. Oh, I see.
So one thing that would help is if you could mute yourself if you're not talking. And we're all learning. Even right now, I'm learning how to talk to, I've never done a Zoom call this big. I just wanted to say that we have, as artists and as musicians and as Dalcroze teachers or friends of Dalcroze community, I think we have a lot of creativity to offer and share with each other, and so I'm excited for that. I made an agenda for the meeting, and I will post it here in just a second as soon as I stop talking, but I think it would be great if we could all just say our name and where we're calling from and what our teaching situation is, and I'm thinking like 10 to 20 seconds per person, just so we all can say hello. And the order I see on my screen is Stephen, Veronica, Manuel, Emma, Kristen. Is that the order that you guys all see? No. Okay, so I will just call on people. So, Manuel.
Yeah, hi. Well, I'm Manuel Zazueta. I'm from Mexico originally, but right now I'm teaching in Vietnam. And I've been teaching online for the last seven weeks now, since the lunar year, because that's when the when the breakout happened. And we had Vietnam was very, very adamant about closing everything. So we've been teaching online, but just last week we had the option of teachers not going into campus. So now I'm teaching from home. Thank you. Emma? And it's great to see all of you.
Thanks. Emma?
Good morning, I'm Emma Shubin. I live in Colorado currently, and I work with Dalcroze Field Rockies, and I run a small nonprofit called Integral Steps. I've been teaching online for about a decade now. That mostly started with private flute students. Now, as of this week, have been teaching everybody from age 3 up to 15 Dalcroze classes, and then my entire flute studio. So I did, I think, 45 lessons last week online. And now this week so far, five classes by the end of today will have been online for Dalcroze 8 through 15. Okay.
Thank you, Emma. Kristen Turner.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Hi, I'm Kristen Turner. I live in the Boston area. I'm a graduate of Longy, but currently I'm teaching in public school, general music K-5 based on Dalcroze curriculum. And I'm just here to find out some information about teaching online. I haven't done very much of that and want to kind of branch into this world that's unprecedented right now for public school. So any information I can find out about is really appreciated during this time. Glad to be here.
Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley Bodner. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm meant to be student teaching right now with Mr. Molinaro.
Sorry, Elizabeth Cladell.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cladell. I live in the Boston area in Cambridge. I am working on my Dalcroze certification, and I have just yesterday taught my first online private lessons and took my first online private lesson as well. And so all of my private teaching is going online for piano. And so far I've been applying Dalcroze strategies in my music theory class, musicianship and theory class at a boys choir school for middle school boys. We haven't gone to completely online classes. I've been giving more written work online, but I suspect we may be going in the direction of wanting more than that. So I'm here to learn from everybody, and it's really great to see everyone.
Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Forden. I'm from Colorado. Thank you for putting this together. I teach in an elementary school, K through 8. And so I'm just interested to hear the ideas and what everyone's doing so I can apply it when our break is over. And I will most certainly be teaching e-learning.
Thank you. Melissa.
Hi, everybody. And yes, thank you for organizing this. I'm new to teaching online. This afternoon will be my first time doing it, but I'm not new to Zoom meetings. Teach all different ages, most recently working with senior citizens, and they are the most vulnerable population right now. So all of that work has been suspended. So I'm excited to find out some new ways of working.
Thank you. Aiko?
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hi.
Okay, so I'm also from Boston area and teach with Adriana, Melissa, and many of us here. And I teach some of the private lessons through online for international students for Dalcroze materials. And I did about 20 students private lessons so far. And little kids were pretty excited, but I still try to find out if this is going to work for group Eurythmics Dalcroze class. Thank you for putting this together.
All right, so I'm going to ask the person labeled as Kirsten Schwanbeck, who is actually Cora Chrisman, to talk. And then, Stephen, could you go on calling on people? Because I have to solve Michael Joviala is having issues. Or maybe, Stephen, could you work with Michael Joviala?
No, I'm good now. I got on. Everything's cool.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, and hi, Michael. Cynthia, I think your microphone is on. Can you mute your microphone until you're talking? Nice to see you.
Sure. Muting.
Hi, I am not Kirsten Schwanbeck. I'm Cora Chrisman. I'm still logged into my colleague's Zoom from doing our first group classes with Integral Steps yesterday, which was very exciting. I've done some online private lessons before, but never group classes and never music and movement classes online. So I am a flutist and a music educator in Colorado, based in Denver, and I'm the fellow for Integral Steps this year. Nice to see you all.
Adriana?
Okay, now I'm on mute. Yeah, I'm Adriana Ausch, and I also teach in the Boston area together with Echo by myself. I teach at Longy, some undergrads and grad students, Eurythmics, and group classes, of course. I am new to teaching online. I taught a couple of private lessons, but not group lessons. I'm going to have my debut of teaching like 2 or 3 kids in the same time this afternoon. So I'm really, thank you very much for putting this together. And I'm looking forward to find new ideas. How can I expand the teaching for classes, for kids classes?
Thank you. It's really nice to hear everyone. Thank you. Jeremy.
Hey everybody, I'm here with my friend and colleague, Wendy Nestrud. We teach out here at the Dalcroze School of the Rockies, along with Emma and others, and Lori Forden. And we've actually been doing online teaching now for a long time. And so we're excited to see what we can do with that.
For the littles. That's the challenge.
Yes, the challenge for us right now is thinking about the littlest guys. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Thanks for organizing this.
And Wendy?
Wendy Nestrud, newly certified, 2 small Eurythmics classes, and just want to hear what some ideas are.
Thank you. Lauren?
Unmute is hard to find, apparently. Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. It's so nice to see you all. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and just switched to teaching all of my piano lessons online and trying to make the decision about whether I'm going to do my rhythmics classes, either recorded videos or live instruction. So that's where I am. Thanks.
Thank you. Anthony.
Good morning. I'm Anthony Molinaro. I'm in Pittsburgh. I do public school, grades 1 through 5, general music, very Dalcroze-centric curriculum. And then I also teach on Saturdays at Carnegie Mellon at the preparatory school. I teach Eurythmics with the little ones there. So I am also trying to problem solve the current situation.
Thank you. Cynthia.
Do you hear me? Great. I live in New York City. At the moment, I'm only teaching 2 children's classes, young children's classes, age kindergarten and first grade. And I'm concerned. I really don't even know how to make a video. I've been experimenting with Zoom, and it seems lovely for just 2 people, but for a group, especially a group of young people, where muting is important. It sounds very challenging. So I'll be interested in what everybody has to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Michael.
Hi, everybody. Michael, New York City. I'm at 4 different schools and a lot of different populations, but the one I echo Jeremy, the one I really am scratching my head over is 3 to 4-year-olds. So eager to get some ideas.
Thank you. The person labeled as iPhone 3.
Not sure who that is. Maybe move on.
So iPhone 3, feel free to message us here in this group chat, and then maybe someone can help you get online. We can't hear you or see you, but you're very welcome. Mimi.
Hello, everyone. This is Mimi from New York City. So I teach independent school K through 8, and also at Queens College Prep. So I'm also curious about how to run Eurythmics class for the young, and also a 20 people choir online together. Looking forward.
Thank you, Mimi. Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah O'Connor, and I'm a high school band teacher in Boston. And we've just gone to online teaching for at least 6 weeks, so interested about group teaching ideas.
Thank you. Wan Ching?
Hi, sorry, my camera doesn't really work. So hi everybody, I'm from Arizona, so it's very exciting and excited to be here to see everybody and find out more ideas how to teach group online. Thank you.
Ginny. So Ginny, you'll have to unmute yourself first. There you go.
Well, that was a good experience. Okay. Hi, everyone. Looking forward to sharing ideas with everyone in these challenging times. It's good to be with friends. Thank you so much for organizing this. I am teaching Eurythmics classes at the conservatory here in the Boston area, and all manner of other things at other varied places, and have experimented a bit with Zoom and looking forward to sharing ideas.
Thank you. Mira?
Hi, I'm Mira Larson, and I'm sorry I don't have a video this morning either. I'm in Salt Lake City, and I work with kids 8 through 18 at a prep school, a music prep school, pre-college type program called the Gifted Music School. And I also work in a French immersion preschool teaching Dalcroze, working with kids who are 3 through 6. So I'm very excited for this conversation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, welcome for joining. Welcome. Can you just say a few words about who you are? Sorry, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Sorry, Veronica. Hi, my name's Matt. Sorry I'm late. I had trouble finding the correct link. But I'm a cellist, and I teach music learning theory in Portland, Maine, which is not Dalcroze, but I'm interested in getting more resources online on how to do similar work online.
All right, Sonia, and then we'll put a pause to it and go on to our discussions.
Sonia, will you introduce yourself just for a short moment?
Hi everyone, I'm sorry. I was iPhone 3 and now I'm switched to the computer. Now I can't even see myself, but thanks to Lauren for inviting me to this meeting. I'm so excited to hear everyone's idea. I teach at the Cleveland Institute of Music. I mainly teach college level classes. We are currently using Microsoft Teams, and we did have a brief training session at CIM yesterday. So I'm interested to see the difference between Team and Zoom and other functionalities that could possibly work for our classes are starting tomorrow. So nice to see everyone.
Nice to see you too. Okay, Veronica.
Okay, so I would suggest that we ask our 4 people that I've listed in the agenda to just go in that order and share for 5 minutes based on maybe the little topic I wrote or what you feel is needed based on what people said. And I will cut you off at 5 minutes just so we can hear from everyone, and then we can have discussion and follow-up questions. So Anthony, would you mind starting?
Sure, I don't see an agenda. Did I miss that?
It is in the chat box. Emma posted it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll look for it in a second. So am I just to kind of talk about how I'm approaching it?
Yes, for 5 minutes, and I'll cut you off, not out of rudeness.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have the Saturday classes at Carnegie Mellon. These are the ones that are mainly concerning to me right now because they really want us to go to an online format and specifically asked me to come up with, you know, an online eurythmics course. And these are young children, which I'm hearing a lot of people asking about. But yeah, these are kids who are 4, 5, 6 years old maybe. So they're, so the way I kind of approached it was I decided to make a series of family eurythmics activities. And so I created videos and I used my own children to kind of help me create the videos. You can go to my blog if you want, which is
it's actually listed. I put your link there on that agenda document.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you can go to my blog and see this. I only have one up so far, but I tried to come up with some activities that I thought that, you know, parents could do with the kids that would be somewhat engaging and, you know, at least have some value for the kids to do. And as my goal of it was really partially to educate the parents about what eurythmics is and have them do a eurythmics activity with their child and create, you know, a little bit of education for them, as well as, you know, I mean, really provide a nice experience for their family. You know, what I'm wrestling with now is how to flip the classroom back so I can sort of evaluate what they did. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to have them kind of post back at me, you know, some video of them working on the activity. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet or what platform to use for that. And then, you know, and so far the one video has had great results. I mean, I got emails from virtually every parent talking about how much they enjoyed doing the activities with the child. And I think that was a success. And the administration at Carnegie Mellon was very happy with that, with the results, you know, from a customer service standpoint. You know, their families are happy with that substitute to the actual instruction. So in my public school practice, I think I'm gonna do something similar, but I have some time because we don't actually have to start online instruction for another week. So I have a week to figure out how I'm gonna adapt it for public school instruction. Obviously, the public school is a little different, and I teach recorder and things like that, so that's easier to kind of transfer over to an online format. But the Eurythmics work, I think I'm going to do similar things. I'm going to make videos of family activities, and then I'm going to ask them to post, results of them. And I think, with these families quarantined and whatever we say, socially distancing, right now, I think that providing families something to do together is another service that we can offer.
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's all I got.
Thank you so much. Emma.
Good morning, everybody. I was tasked with talking a little bit about how to engage and work with the kids. So in my brief, fast track learning about this, I've worked with, in Suzuki style lessons with kids who are ages 3 and up in a Skype situation, because I have a lot of families who live very far out and not close to any kind of music education. So I've had a lot of experience with how to kind of work one-on-one with kiddos and how to give really specific instructions, but this was definitely my first experience trying to engage multiple households. But we had 9 families show up for my afternoon class yesterday, and I had a class with 3 to 5-year-olds in the morning. And I know that Manuel has done a lot with teaching the last few weeks online, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But a couple of the things that I found really, really helpful is keeping a very similar lesson structure to what the kids are used to. So if there's some sort of ritual songs that you guys do or warm-ups with the body, we did those together. I did songs that they were familiar with to start off with before I started getting into any material. For the little ones, I brought friends with me to class, and we'll do more of this today, using characters to help them figure out how to move different body parts. On a practical standpoint, we practiced muting and unmuting right away in the beginning, and I sent out an email explaining what people might need, so gathering things like pots and pans from their house for percussion instruments, a scarf, it could be like an actual scarf, having something, if they have some sort of a xylophone at home, to bring it along, because then they could try some of the activities with me if I was going to do that. And then a big one was scrap paper with markers, so that when it got time to do some note work, that they could do that on their own at home. And then for myself, I really thought about things clearly in chunks. Like I was going to do my ritual opening activities. I was going to do some sort of movement warm-up. I was going to give them an instruction of what to try in their own space. Can you march in your own spot? Fantastic. And then I muted, everybody was muted, and I went and I played music for that. And then I gave them their next instruction, and then we did a little game with both of those activities, for example. So kind of spin-off style work, if you will, and then singing songs together if there was a friend in the house with them. And most of the time yesterday, that's how we did it, is they did a game with their parent. And for board work, I made sure I had my own little personal whiteboard and my own markers and such to be able to do that. I was able to do some nice interrupted kind of canon work using rhythm colors and cards, and that worked really, really well. Things that I found that would need a little bit of work, or that I want to see how they go today, is the flow of things after you kind of reach your song that you want to practice, and then that next step might be something social or might be a development stage. For me, what I chose to do is to return to a story. Since we integrate our classes often with art and Spanish or art and biology, I had something where I was heading or coming away from. So we either had a half-hour class that was art and Spanish based, so I had a story to draw upon, or we were heading towards a theme. Yesterday it was chickens and life cycles for eggs. So I went back to my story and drew everything in. And then we spent the last few minutes of class working on our own pieces of paper, showing off our beautiful 3 times. We were working 3 times, working on doing our red notes. What do accents look like? And I'm just giving you an example of what I tried yesterday. For me, it's really important that I give something that's possible for the kids to do right there and then to also let them share something. And so once you open that gate, there is a lot of sharing. And for my littlest ones, it was really easy for them to like want to share their house. And so I had to be very specific about like, I want to see your marching feet. How are your marching feet doing? Because I made that mistake the other day of being like, what would you like to share? And I would just say, so very, very clear requests. And obviously that's good teaching, but you will find out what you're leaving open-ended very, very quickly, because it is so exciting to be in your home and to have your teacher with you. What I was telling my team is that for me, there's a big joy in the online teaching world because you get to be their personal TV. And whether we like it or not, kids are very, very, very into that idea. And so actually, particularly for my little ones, this was a very exciting day and they had a great time and I got a lot of good feedback. For some of my littlest ones with parents who are extra stressed, and this might be their first kind of illness situation that they're dealing with, it was hard to tell if they're just up beyond their eyeballs, as it were, in the world in general. Their kids were still having a really fantastic time. I definitely saw some parents like in the background, like engaging and then picking up their phones and looking a little distraught. And so I think the idea that this might be a service for families to connect with each other in a different way during this time is something that I really feel good about having the possibility of. We are recording all of our classes on Zoom and making them available for our families to take again throughout the week so they can practice those skills. And then we are going to be sending material home, whether it's chicken sheets or fun sheets for doing their notes or whatnot, stories. We've sent home, you know, the stories that we read in class. And today I'm going to practice and see if doing a more story format of like really stopping and telling the next part of the story and then doing a musical activity, how that feels. And I'm happy to reach out and share with you guys how all of that goes.
Thank you. And I'm just going to ask you to pause there, but thank you so much for all of those ideas. Jeremy. And sorry, Jeremy, maybe you could speak to Stephen's question that he posted also in the chat, because I think you already wrote some things about that.
Right. So thanks everybody for all of your great ideas, and I agree with everything that Emma said. I think those are all super ideas. And Anthony, I love your idea too about making a video that kids can practice with. I think, Stephen, your question about lag is a really important one. So I'm going to actually address that first. So one of the things that's difficult about all of the platforms that are available with the technology that we have is that it's always one way. So you can't actually have a conversation at the same time with someone. If you try to talk at the same time that I'm talking, the sound kind of butts up against each other and then it doesn't go through. So you can't actually play with your students and hear them at the same time. But there are ways to combat that. And it's actually kind of a hybrid of what Anthony was saying. I don't know Zoom. I use Skype for my classes, although I'm really enjoying how the whole Zoom experience is at this point. It feels really nice to me. But one of the features that you have on Skype is that you can make a recording. You could actually record the session, and you can make a specific slice recording. So what I can do is I can make a recording of myself working with students. I can be singing, they can be muted and then singing at home. So they do the activity, they move the activity, whatever you want it to be. You press record for, let's say, the 3 minutes that the activity is, then you finish. In the chat feed, like what's over here off to the side, that video then immediately becomes deposited and is available for 30 days. And what can happen is then you can ask each student to go through, press play on their end, unmute themselves, and then they can sing, they can move, they can do whatever you want to do. And then you can actually see it in real time. If you play it on your end, if you press play, then you're gonna have that lag that you were talking about, Stephen. But if you do it the other way and they press play, then they're hearing it in real time and you can see the music happen. Now, the only thing that I found that's a real difficulty with this is that it does not work well on, let's say, like a cell phone. Like, so FaceTime I have not found to be great. I think the sound quality for FaceTime is pretty poor. I mean, at least for music, I think it's poor. I think for speaking it's fine. And so the other problem is that, again, I think it overloads the speaker for like an iPhone or whatever, because when the students press play, they can hear it, I can't hear it through my speakers, this is weird. But if they have a computer or if they have a tablet, then I think it works okay. So that's one solution that Stephen, that I found to deal with the lag. The other thing, in addition to all the things that Emma said, getting creative with household items that people might have, asking them to like, for instance, if they have a ball at the house, if you want them to use a ball, to get that stuff ready. So I made like a list of things just so that way they could have it on hand. I also provided my families with a link to some Amazon windows or whatever that are sites that would show these are the balls that I use, or these are a place where they could get them if they wanted to order them, or if they just to give them an idea of what it was. I mean, I remember one time I did an activity with a kid and they brought in like a huge basketball. And so, I mean, that's just not going to be very useful. The other thing is that for us to think about, or that I think about, is the space that they're in. Not everybody's going to have a ton of space. And I try to let the parents know that whatever they can do, the best that they can do is great. But to try to suggest things that are not going to cause damage. I know that seems like silly, but like, for instance, like racquetballs and tennis balls, depending on the age of the kid, maybe aren't going to be the best choice, because there's like furniture and tchotchke and stuff. So, but the other big thing that I wanted to say that I think we should address is camera placement. And where should you put the camera? Because I think that for me, the best place to do it is to ask them to put the camera like someplace in the corner of a room. So like, for instance, in this space, this is my home studio space. Like if you put the camera in the corner right here, for instance, then you can see a good portion of the room and a good portion of what the child's doing. Parents don't always understand that. They really think like, as long as they can see the face, that's enough, but they don't realize that we need to see the whole body, and especially the lower half is really important. I've also asked students at times, if they don't have a lot of space to be able to do that, to ask them to just put their laptop on the floor, because even like, say I'm having them move a song or something like that, like if I do a little trot up to this, up to you and back away from you, you can kind of see my feet, and you can judge better what's happening. So asking them to be creative and to think about their camera placement is key. There was one more thing I was gonna say, and I'm sure I'm out of time, but
maybe you can just think of it, just follow up in the discussion if you remind.
Totally fine, sounds great. Thanks everybody.
So I just wanted to say that Manuel has a lot of experiences to share with us, and that he had a meeting like this in Spanish on Sunday that I attended, and I took notes in English for all of you, so they're also pasted in that document. And Manuel, I would love for you to share how you use pre-recorded videos and live chats together, because I thought that was a really creative idea, and also your 6-part structure. And anything else you want to share in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. Great ideas, really, from everyone. I'm being, my wrist is a little sore from writing down. I just want to tell you, so I teach in an international community. So I have my majority of students are Vietnamese, but I have students from the UK, from Australia, from Korea, Japan, China, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to take into account also the cultural aspect of the thing. And well, Jeremy talked about the setting of the actual equipment. Where are they going to to put the camera. What I find useful at first is also to ask them to actually take a photo of where they are going to be working in. That way they are a little bit more conscious of what we are going to see as teachers. So they have a better idea of where to place the actual equipment. And then I also talk a lot about flexibility, because I don't have the same deadlines when they're giving their return to me or all their feedback, and it's not at all the same planning that I did for a live class as an online class. And well, now what I'm doing right now is I do a lot of videos. Since the first week, I began doing a video, but the thing that I saw is, okay, what subjects in my curriculum is going to benefit from something like this? So I got more into the theory aspect of everything in order to get across to get past the learning curve. Because most of the kids are very acquainted with online lessons, because they sometimes get an online lesson from their English teacher or from their diverse tutors that they have, but not the family in itself. The family doesn't have that. They're not very used to even using the platform that we use, that it's Seesaw. They don't use that platform a lot. They just use it to get the messages, but they don't interact with it a lot. So right now, the videos are helping me do that. I'm not instructing them what to do in the videos. I'm just giving them simple enough tasks so that they can learn something, but that they can also have a very, they can move around the technology, the technological aspect of it. And the videos, what I do with the videos, the planning of it, is actually I have at school, right now I have kind of like a TV set up. But the really thing, the most important thing that I have is my microphone stand, where I place my camera, like the one I have right now. That's where I have my camera. And on it, I have pasted my prompter, which is the planning of all the whole activity, which is basically 6 parts. I just divide a piece of paper into 6 parts, and I use it to give those 3 moments that are so important to adult growth education: the experience, the analysis, and the application of that of what we're working on. So I have 2 moments of living that musical element, whichever it is. It's either if I'm playing, if I'm showing them something, singing, playing, or moving around the room. I'm doing that in one square. In the next square of my storyboard, if you will, I'm doing another kind of experience, because they maybe the one that someone got engaged here, but I want someone else to engage here. So I need all of them, and I need the videos to be really short. They can only be about 10 minutes long, because if they're longer than that, then I know I'm going to lose them. The other 2 squares of my storyboard are going to be the analysis. So I have to figure out what activities I'm going to do. Sometimes I do an overshot video take of me writing down, so you just see me like doing writing everything. And the last section is singing using that element for something else. And well, that's basically how I organize my videos, and that's 5 minutes.
So Amanda Wilson, who I think is on this call somewhere, just had a 1-minute comment she wanted to share about Zoom. She messaged me privately.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Amanda Wilson. I am part of the Integral Steps team with Emma and Veronica. And I just had a quick thing I wanted to share that I saw in one of my piano teacher groups on Facebook this morning. Some of you may have seen it. It was a comment and a video about there being a music mode in Zoom. And I haven't had a chance to watch the video yet and try it out, but I thought that would be really helpful for potentially for all of us. I know some people were talking to me about having trouble with the volume in Zoom and it being really low if you didn't want it to be echoing on their end. So I started to watch the video and it said that it's for piano and singing and everything, it improves the sound. So just a thought, I can share the link in the chat so you all can check it out.
Thank you, Amanda. I also will share if anybody's interested in Zoom specific, I will also share the audio advice that our IT team at Carnegie Mellon gave to the music faculty, again, talking about ways to improve the audio reception. And this is not obviously a meeting to say Zoom is the thing. Actually, I think we're all trying to figure out what's the best thing. So I love hearing Jeremy's experience with Skype and FaceTime, and I think little by little we'll all figure out what's going to work for us. We're only using Zoom today because it's the technology my university gave me. I have not ever really used Zoom, but for one-on-ones prior to this week. Thank you, Amanda.
Okay, Manuel, do you want to talk about, I'm kind of a little lost right now, not sure how to lead the next part of the discussion. And I'm also curious if you guys want to spend the last 13 minutes we have discussing things, or if you want to take a moment to test breakout rooms here on Zoom, if Stephen can set that up. I don't know if that's possible. And also Jeremy had offered to send a Skype meeting link so we could all try a group Skype call and just migrate over to there for the last 2 minutes and try that. So if you could maybe chat back to everyone, whether you're interested in those technology tests versus you're more interested in this. And I think that can be the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but either way, we'll have a discussion. Maybe Stephen, are you okay with just calling on people for the discussion? Do you want to do it that way?
Yep, absolutely. So are there, I don't know, what do you all want to talk about here for the next, it's 10:47. I think we had sort of roughly said we'd have about an hour. If people want to go a little bit longer, I have time. I got nothing but time while I avoid actually planning my real lessons this week. So, so if you want to talk a little bit more, I'm just so excited that we've had 25 people and that the technology seems to be working at what must be the highest Zoom usage of the ever, the fact that we have everybody in the country trying to use the internet to talk to each other. So I think this is pretty exciting just to see that it works at all. I don't know, do you have either questions or do you have things that you'd like to comment on in terms of what has already been discussed? You want to text it, or do you want to chat it over, or wave your hand?
Well, I would love to talk a little bit about WebEx, and maybe
Excellent.
save you the
Let's hear
trouble.
about it.
Okay, so I've been using WebEx basically because my my oldest piano student in Mexico, her dad works at Cisco. So when I said that I was using Zoom, he said, "Hey, Manuel, come on," and he signed me up for WebEx, and right now I've been using it for the last year. But the advantage that I see Zoom over WebEx is the breakout rooms in the free version. And that's a very big thing. The other thing is the interface. The interface in Zoom is way more, how do you say this, kind than in WebEx. WebEx is, it seems to me, a little bit too technical. And that's the only differences that I can see between WebEx and Zoom. They're basically the same thing. It's just that Zoom has the breakout rooms, and right now that they've waived the 40 minutes limit on the free version, it's a great thing for everyone. Oh, and talking about the latency, I would like to just do a small experiment. If everyone could clap on the second bar, and that way you can see the actual lag that you have with your students. For example, if I say 1, 2, clap, and there you go. You were about 1 second. Lori, you were about 1.5 seconds late. So that way you can see how far along, how much into the future you are. And
Yeah, would you,
well,
Manuel, would you do it again? And instead of us clapping, could everybody just conduct along? So whatever you see Manuel doing, you conduct with him, and it's wild to see how different everybody's room is. We are all delayed, but delayed by different amounts. So just conduct along with him for 4 bars or so.
This looks wild. Oh my. All right.
I'll just say one quick thing with little guys. You can let them know that they should be with your sound and not what you look like. They can watch you at first, but then that they're going to be with the music.
Right. That's something that you have to really make a decision if you want to do that with your students, or if you want to give them agency to say, okay, now you count for yourself. So they begin to go into the 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom, they begin. And I find that to be a little bit more useful, because when I do this, it's just mayhem. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about Zoom versus WebEx. And as you can see, I'm on the other side of the world, and the latency period, it's not that big. So right now we have a very big advantage on broadband. So that's something that couldn't be done a few years ago.
Yes, thank you so much. Michael Joviala, will you, I think you have a question?
Yeah, I just wondered if anybody has ever used a MIDI keyboard for a really clear sound, or microphones for piano. It seems to me that the sound is the biggest barrier right now.
I put a load of different microphones that I've used and tried. I've tried about 6 different kinds in the last 10 years. And so there's a little list at the bottom. I have not tried MIDI, so maybe somebody else can speak to that. Today I'm trying this guy out, which is a really inexpensive option for families. It's about $60. I also put a little tiny one up there that is better for traveling if people need it.
Are these USB mics?
Sorry?
USB mics, Emma, or?
These are USB mics, and then I also put different options for upping your speed. For most of us, we have a USB adapter, and you can get an Ethernet adapter, so you can plug directly into your box. This is a super important one also to suggest to families. If we're going to be doing this long term, that'll help their speed. And if they get a 25-foot cord, it gives them enough flexibility, or a 50-foot cord, and it's only a couple bucks.
You mean into the router?
And they go right into their router.
Instead of using Wi-Fi. So you're bypassing the Wi-Fi and you're jacking directly into the Ethernet. Yep.
This guy is the most popular camera that my pianist friends have been using, mostly because you can attach it to a mic stand and then give yourself an overview. And I'm sure that the pianists in the room, which is all of us, have many opinions on this. I found this to be very, very useful. It does autofocus. I don't know how to do anything about that at the moment. However, the picture is very, very clear, and you can toggle between views. I have not found a way to split my screen views yet. I'm not that high tech. From what I can tell, it takes an external splitter to be able to do that sort of a thing where I could get a multi-room view. But these are all very lightweight and under $100, and you can buy them. There are mic stands and booms and stuff like that that you can get. Sorry, Michael, though, I have not tried any MIDI stuff.
If I could just real quick jump on that. I put in here there's a link for speedtest.net. I don't know if anybody ever does this, but you should ask your families to double check their internet speed, especially now. It's for like the internet that we have at my home studio, it's pretty fast. It's upwards of 100 megabytes a second. In my studio that I have in where I teach a lot of my classes, though, where I do most of my online teaching in the past, it's only about 50. So a 50 download and about 40, maybe 35 upload, something in that neighborhood. If it goes below about 20 on the upload, it will make it really hard for the connection to be good. So that's something to just let your families know. Sometimes they can't do anything about it, but those are important things to consider. I have what Emma's talking about, the plug in, and I have found that in this house, at least, and in my studio in Denver, it doesn't matter if I plug in or not, but that's because my Wi-Fi is already really strong. But if their Wi-Fi isn't great, or if they don't have a great internet connection, then that's good to do.
I saw that Emma somebody had a question about using a phone. I think it was just flashed by.
Yeah.
I could say that my internet is so bad in my studio that I've had to use, I have unlimited data, fortunately. I've had to use my phone. And that actually has worked well. And you can also log into, so for screen shares, I log in with your computer, turn off the camera and the mic, and use your phone at the same time, and then you get to see everybody and then have the good sound.
For example, sorry, right now I'm logged on actually using my computer to see everyone, and my phone is just the camera, which is up in a mic stand. So now I began sending video from the computer, which is down there, and the telephone is up here. And that also gives you the chance to share content from your computer. So if you want to share something from your computer, a specific screen, you can do that to everyone just hitting the share button, like I did just now, which is that thing that's there. And then you can do it. You can do this. You can do it with your iPad too, if you want, like have something like a virtual blackboard, and that really helps. And for the mic, we have to remember that these apps are thought of to be for speech. So the frequency that they're going to use are all is the central frequencies. So anything that's too low, it may not even register it, and those that are too high, it's just going to sound like noise. So what you need to do is, what really helps is to have a microphone that's like a condenser microphone, USB hooked on your computer, and use that for input, and to have headphones like the ones that Matthew has, because those are like, they really give you the low end of the spectrum, so you can better listen. You look like a 60s anchor man, but it works. Right now I'm actually just using the AirPods, but that they have a very decent microphone, and it helps with the echo of the room.
Outstanding. Other questions or suggestions? Elizabeth?
Just real quick, thanks everyone for your thoughts. For Jeremy and anyone else who's used Jeremy was talking about recording and listening back in real time. Is there a place I can go to get more information about that? I mean, I can explore on my own, but yeah.
Sure. If you want, when we're finished with this call or whenever it's time, I'm happy to start a Skype session, and I can show you. I can share the link, and I can just walk you through it. It will take 2 seconds to do it. the other option that you can do if you didn't have Skype is that if you use whatever kind of video or audio recording software comes with your computer, you can also do that. Like if you have QuickTime on a Mac, I'm a Mac person now, so if I use that, I can take a video recording, it will download to my laptop, and then I just send it in the chat box, or I send it via email or whatever. The only problem with that is that sometimes those little video clips can get really big. And so the nice thing about if you use, when I'm using Skype, is that it condenses it, it minimizes it, so that way it works for this platform on Skype. So I really like that functionality. Somebody said that there's something you can do that's like that on Zoom. Because I don't know Zoom, I can't explain it. But I'm sure that there would be a possibility to do it. But when we're done, I'm happy to share a link, and people can jump on if they want.
My one experience with, I mean, I love using the Skype thing. I do it all, like my whole private studio is on Skype, whereas we're using Zoom for our online classes for right now. And I love being able to take a clip and send it. It will have the other people in the chat divided out on the screen. Has everybody found that? Who's tried that? Jeremy? And
Yeah.
so that's the only thing where it might be advantageous to pull up QuickTime and do a video that's just going to be of you. And then you also maybe won't have any of the feedback if people by accident unmute themselves while you're doing that recording. What I put in the chat box about Zoom was that you can start recording and then you can hit pause. So you can record your activity, for example, hit pause, have your interactions in classes, record the next activity, or continue the recording. And then that can be your condensed version of the lesson that goes home. I'm going to try that a little bit today, because I think the other thing that I'm experiencing, which I don't know how you guys are feeling, is a little bit of fatigue of spending 12 hours a day on my computer at this point. And so I'm trying to find ways that I can, yes, prepare videos and yes, have materials, but also not lose my marbles by the time all of this is over. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's 11:02. We want to be respectful of people's time. There was so if there are any good questions you want to get in before we close up as a big group, speak now. And then there was two different questions about technology. One about this option of breakout rooms in Zoom, and the second was just a comparison with Skype with Jeremy. So Jeremy, will you post your Skype address in the yeah, there you go, in the chat, and that way anybody who wants to sort of jump over and just compare, you can do that. I experimented with breakout rooms just the teeniest bit yesterday, and if I understand it right, and maybe somebody else who knows this platform a little better can confirm, the way I understand it is I as the host and Veronica as the co-host have the option of grabbing any of you and pushing you out of this meeting into a private meeting of your own. And then while you confer in that private meeting, when you're done, you can exit that meeting and it will return you to this meeting. And so that's what the breakout room is all about. So if I want to, have a couple of you go do a individual project without losing your connection to this meeting, I have the option, and I don't assume you have that option, but maybe you do.
I actually can't. I haven't learned how to do it yet, and I don't know if I'm a co-host or not. So I think we have something to work out there. I just want to.
You are a co-host.
Okay. Well, I think just my last thing that I wanted to say is that I'm imagining that all of us will want to do this again in a week or two, because we'll all have learned a lot of things. And I want to make sure that I start building an email list of all the people who are here. So because it's just too crazy to do it on Facebook and find all your comments. So if you did not get an email directly from me, like either me on that first email or forwarding it to you, that means I don't have your email address. So make sure that in the chat box right now, you type your email address, or if you just want to be sure that I have it, just type it in right now. And that would make my life easier, so I can just send this out to this email list of people who are interested. And then of course, feel free to invite other people. Wow, awesome, thank you. So maybe we could do a little breakout room test right now. Stephen, if you could just split us all up into breakout rooms, and we'll do that for 2 minutes. And then let's say at 11:10 Eastern time, so it'd be 9:10 for Colorado people. Let's meet in the Skype link that Jeremy posted above here 2 minutes after the hour. And then Jeremy can walk us through that platform and explain maybe for Elizabeth. And then maybe just...
I have to go.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Thank you so much for setting this up. And it was really great to see all of you. And I hope to see you here next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and throw you all into breakout rooms, and you just will be there for like 30 seconds and wave at each other. And then when you're ready, exit the breakout room, and it should bring you back to this room with me. So here we go. Open all rooms.
Hey. It's like a roulette. Like, who are you gonna get?
I know, right? Too funny.
And this is being recorded, so I'm kind of curious what will happen once I stop the meeting recording.
Right? I know. Yeah. How are we gonna have all those recordings?
I don't know. Oh wow, I can see the breakout rooms.
Oh, you
I'm
can?
a co-host. That's kind of cool. I can like click on a list and I see the list. Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
Do you want to do it? So you hit leave.
Okay, leave breakout room. Got it.
Okay. Hey.
You're making it back.
I feel like I'm
How weird was that?
doing Willy Wonka
So,
stuff here, traveling through the TV.
yeah, I have the option of just randomly assigning you to a room. And
Like,
so
we're joking like with our 3 and 4-year-olds, what would happen if we like put our 3 worst crazy kiddos like accidentally in a room without any adults? Like how insane that would be.
they'd never find the button to come back.
But now I realized, because Amanda and I were in one room and it said we were recording, so I realized we could actually record those kids, like, and see what they're up to in their crazy breakout room.
I think, Veronica, it was recording because you're the one who are recording. The
So were,
recording
were the other rooms recording or just mine?
No,
I don't think so.
just yours.
Oh, so just mine was recording. Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
can all see Amanda and I's 30-second conversation in our breakout room in the recording session, I guess, in the recorded video.
I can't wait. I'm watching that for sure.
Oh yeah, we talked about it.
All right. So
I think what I'm noticing
Sarah?
is it's easier to talk over people or at the same time as people on Zoom as compared to Skype. Are you guys noticing the
say
same
that
thing?
one more. Please say that once again.
It's easier like to interrupt a conversation or to talk over somebody without the breakup. We intentionally were trying it in our breakout room. I was trying to talk at the same time as somebody else, and it seemed to work a lot better than Skype. That's just my initial kind of.
Hey, thank you for testing that.
Yeah.
We probably didn't tell our kids about how it's easy to interrupt.
No, you don't want that. But if you want to interrupt them while they're doing something, you're like, oh no, let's stop and redo that, and do something different. It seems to be a little bit easier than Skype. But I know that's just my initial sort of observation.
Yes, so I think I like Emma has been training her students and family how to mute and unmute on the first lesson, which is very important.
I agree.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you. And for those of us who are interested in trying Skype with Jeremy, I'm going to migrate over there. And I'll send out an email about another time. If you have opinions about how long the meeting should be or what you'd like to see in the next meeting or when we should have the next meeting, just feel free to reach out to me. And we'll be in touch. I'll put my email in the...
Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you,
Jeremy's Skype link is at the bottom of the chat. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you.